All right. How's it going, Brookie? Sasquatch. See, we got Byron over here.
Seth's always giving us the great updates that we absolutely need to know. You drop that deuce. Who does number 2 work for?
Right. Yeah, so Brookie and I made Sasquatch known that you do a damn good Hank Hill impression.
I thought Seth had been around when I had done that a few times.
I believe he has.
Well, in case you weren't aware of it, Seth, I'm always willing to do another advertisement for Strickland propane and propane accessories. You come on down to Arlen, we're gonna feed you right. I tell you what. And remember, if somebody wants to tell you that using a coal burning grill is the better way to go, well then that boy ain't right.
That boy ain't right.
And if they tell you to use an electric griddle, you ask them if they're a member of the WEF, because otherwise they got no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Next thing you know, they're going to tell you, you need to make your patties with black beans and with cricket powder. Eat the bugs and live in the pod. Quite frankly, y'all can lick my taint from the ball sack all the way up to my bunghole. Because that's the sort of nonsense I expect to hear from them boys who've been whacking off in my tool shed.
Oh, man. Working very strong in Hank Hill. Yes, sir. The hell? Okay. The fuck?
You know, Sam, I've heard that they're pretty good, and I've had a couple of decent ones. I'm actually looking to experiment a little bit with my own uh, recipe here in the next few days to try and make some decent black bean burgers because I've got fucking like dozens of cans of black beans, and I finally went and got some panko breadcrumbs, and I've got some it's called Hickory Land barbecue binder specifically for making your own patties and kind of infusing them with a hint of honey barbecue flavoring directly into the meat as you're forming the patties. I've got a press, little burger press that I use to make my own patties at home. Well, no, yeah, I've got dozens of kids. Only half a dozen. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it like that. Personally, I just use black beans if I'm going to make like burritos or something.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad for that.
That or pinto, either or. But, yeah. Hell, even as a side dish for like black beans, they're good with rice. So, black beans and rice.
Yeah, just drizzle in a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper and butter, and you're good to go.
That, maybe a dash of cumin. A little bit of that in there. Give a little bit of like the Mexican flavor.
Yeah, a little cumin, hint of paprika.
Yep. All right, I got the video queued up. We're at 7:52.
I thought she was ready for a nap. I was wrong. Give me one moment.
All right. I thought he was about to say dozens of kids. What the fuck? I hope not. Speaking of Mexican food, that's probably what I'll be doing tomorrow is going to Mexican Town. Human. Human flesh. Human delicacy. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, people think it's crazy, but like when it comes down to like the apocalypse and shit, you never know if you wouldn't like human or not.
Well, I mean, I can barely stomach them when they're upright on two legs, roving about amongst us. I'm not sure I want to taste them.
I don't know if you're hungry enough.
That's fair. I mean, there's plenty of
Or
other
like
animals that I could take out and eat first, but
true, but still, if it's there. What's up, Neville? Good
how
to
you
see
doing,
you.
Neville? The kids are good, Neville. Little Miss Princess Butt here, starting to get her kind of personality. She's turning out to be a little bit of a goofball, kind of like her brothers. And my wife is always like, I feel so bad. The kids, like, none of them have a lot of your facial features. I'm like, no, but as soon as they start, showing us bits of their personality, who do they remind you of? She's like, okay, yeah, that's all Calkins right there. I'm like, exactly.
Right.
White people, we tend to hide in the shadows, and then once we speak, people are like, "Oh, what is wrong with you?" Lots of things.
A lot of things. All the things.
So, Brother Cortex, would you like to lead the intro, sir?
All right, guys. I myself, if you already don't know, I am Cortex, and this right here, my buddy, is ByronOfSidius, and we do the deep dives, which it consists of paranormal, supernatural, or just overall Lovecraftian, anything out there, you know. I guess let your imagination take over, but overall, it's out there, and we like to get into it.
Sort of a low budget kind of outer limits, if you will, except from an
Yep.
analytical point of
Even
view.
though it's like a kind of like a reaction channel in a way, but we do all sorts of things. It's not, just videos. We'll even get into other things like lore of like games we like or whatever. Like we did Fallout the last time. Right there, he's got his handheld. I've got a handheld as well. It's an Abernick.
Ah, lucky bastard.
I'm actually thinking about getting the Steam Deck.
I've got a coworker who's got one of those things. It's gigantic.
Oh yeah,
Like, how can you consider that mobile when it
it's like
takes up
a
more room?
mobile handheld PC.
Yeah, it's almost the size of a laptop. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What's up, Pancake? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Seth. Drum roll. Scuba says that he's got one. But yeah, I mean that's what we do. We just get like nerd talk and whatnot, but I mean we enjoy what we do over here.
Indeed, we do. And if you are looking, ladies and gentlemen, for more sort of active video game play, then I would encourage you to feel free to check out Brother Cortex's live streams when he hops onto YouTube. He is
Yep.
currently going through a marathon of going through the Soulsborne collection, starting with Dark Souls 1, the awful Dark Souls 2, going through Dark Souls 3. He's
Oh
going to be
my
following it up
god.
with
Dark Souls
Bloodborne.
2, I don't even want to talk about, man.
And he's possibly going to look into playing Demon Souls, but he's still not 100% sure. We'll see where he comes down on that.
Demon Souls is going to be its own playthrough. I just deemed it being way too long of a game to get into. Because the whole reason why I'm doing this Soulsborne playthrough is Elden Ring is releasing their DLC in June. So I'm going to try to cram as many Soulsborne games into May that I can. I've already started.
Is that going to include Sekiro?
Yes.
Okay.
Sekiro, and it's going to include, I might include Lords of the Fallen. I don't know yet. There were like 3 other indie titles I was going to include in there, but otherwise, yeah. Basically anything that's Soulsborne, I'm going to play it. But the last game will be Elden Ring, and then I'll follow up with the DLC.
Well,
It'll be fun. You get to watch me be in pain.
yeah, and part of what I've always appreciated and that I enjoy about your gaming streams is you don't claim to be some alpha giga chad uber gamer. I can go through speed run no hit. I am invincible. I am the most ultimate. No, it's just I'm enjoying playing this game, and I'm going to be a goofball, and I'm going to cuss, and I'm going to be like, what the fuck? And you folks are just I'm going to hope enjoy the ride along as we go.
Pretty much.
I
I mean,
myself
I'm not
do
going to say I'm not bad at the game, but like I'm not going to do no fucking no hit run. That's
yeah,
not
you're
fun.
better at that than I am.
But I mean, a no hit run would not be fun. I'm sorry. And speed running a game is just not fun to me. I like to thoroughly enjoy the game while doing it. But I mean, I've already made it all the way to Dark Souls 3, so what's that tell you? I've traveled through them pretty quick. But Neville says, I shared this. I hope more come. These are so interesting. I appreciate that, Neville.
Thank you, Neville.
But I got this pulled up here. So whenever you're ready, we'll get into it.
All right. We had left off. I don't have my phone on me. It's over there.
I believe it was 7:52, so what we left
7:52.
off at. I'm gonna
All right.
start like a couple seconds earlier.
Okay, makes sense. And for those of you who have not seen our prior works, I would recommend heading to Brother Cortex's channel, bookmark it, subscribe, maybe head back to the archive, and take a look back through the back catalog of the various deep dives that we have done previously, to include the Backrooms lore created and produced by Kane Pixels. We've also done the Oldest View. We have done a little bit of looking at some other creepy mythological sort of urban
SCP.
legends. The SCP Foundation, which is secure, contain, protect. And we've had some real fun conversations talking about the possible hypotheses, theorems, the scatological references that you can make to these various sort of world branching mythologies that are either a shared space that people are invited to come and deposit their own takes into, or that are simply collaborative group projects of fiction that have really created a deep and, I think, wonderful tapestry of the bizarre, the speculative, and the scientifically horrific.
Indeed. Okay. All right. Well, without further ado,
Let's
get into it.
But with that said, there are, of course, conditions. As I mentioned previously, due to the classified nature of this facility and the company researching it, this is considered a black operation. Nobody knows we authorized this, and nobody even knows this meeting is happening right now. It's in everyone's best interest to keep it that way. All information shared during this meeting stays in this meeting, and a gag order will be placed on all of you about the details of this operation after its conclusion. Trust me when I say you'll be surprised how quickly you'll be dishonorably discharged if word of this gets out to the public. All right.
I think that is literally the least of your worries.
Right, because a dishonorable discharge would be predicated on the notion that you're coming back alive.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention the fact that they had to leave out the details that they're not giving them about the Backrooms.
Right. For those of you who were not with us last time, this team is being sent in to retrieve some research scientists who vanished inside of a Q-dimensional space known as the Backrooms. And this team has been informed that due to the deeply classified nature of the material that they're going over in this briefing, they cannot go in with any kind of heads up about the threats or the environment that they are going to actually be entering into. So they're going in with a very brief video that they've seen and not a lot of information about the boundaries of the environment, the strictures of the environment, the mechanics of the environment, or any other potential hostile situation or scenario that they may be facing.
Right.
They have been promised a fuck ton of money if they complete this mission.
A fuck ton of money, and just now they were talking about a gag order, and yeah. Oh, and triple their rates.
Right, triple their standard pay rate, basically hazard pay. A guarantee $500,000 payment
bonus
upon completion of the mission.
Yep.
Now, when a government agent from an unknown 3-letter or more agency tells you, we're sending you in on a black ops operation, or black flag operation. We're going to pay you an exorbitant amount of money as a bonus for completion. Oh, by the way, you can't talk to anybody about this. That should be a great big red flag that, I'm probably going to die.
You're not coming back.
With all that said, are there any other questions?
Where exactly are we going? All right, we're rolling. Looks like the camera's working fine.
All right, good. What do you say the real thing was for?
I think he said I could mount the camera to my helmet to free up my hands during the mission. Which, I mean, sounds great in theory, but we'll see how well it works.
Okay, well, we shouldn't need you to set anything up, so you'll be on camera duty for now.
Sounds good.
I gotta say, even though the animation's kind of this right here almost kind of looks real.
Right, and it works really well given the era that they're trying to simulate with late 80s, early 90s camera equipment. Even the sound quality with that kind of rolling hum in the background, it lends a great authenticity to the production. So high marks for them there.
Indeed.
Hey, are you guys the search and rescue team?
That we are.
All right, well, my name's Robert. I'm the assistant supervisor. Follow me and I'll show you where we'll be heading out.
Wait a minute. Why is he not in any uniform?
He's not in a uniform, he's not in a suit, and he's inside the back room area.
Right.
First thing, before you guys get started, try and stick together as best you can. We've already lost one of our guys that way after he got separated from his team.
Damn, I'm just losing all kinds of people in this place.
Yeah, that seems to be the pattern as of late. But it's pretty easy to get lost, especially if you don't know where you're going or what you're looking at. Just as a baseline, if you see anybody or hear voices of any kind before you guys make your descent, don't follow it or try to interact with it in any way, shape, or form. Apart from our missing team, you guys should be the only ones out there right now, all right?
So does that happen often, or no?
Well, no, not really. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't happen at all.
That's a very forked question.
Right, and okay, so if you hear any voices or come across anything prior to entry, don't speak to it or interact with it. Yet this dude was behind the door.
Right.
The doors opened and he was there.
Without any protective clothing on or nothing.
No equipment, right, no gear. It's like, okay, that's kind of like coming to my den, said the spider to the fly.
Right.
Press X to doubt. Super sus.
Well, you probably shouldn't interact with it, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't happen at all. What? What?
Right. Like, I thought this was all predicated as well on this was like an initial team.
Right.
How many people have come through between the original video recording and the deployment of this team?
Exactly.
Questions.
This definitely
right?
didn't. This isn't the first scenario or incident, as he just stated.
Teams occasionally come back saying that they hear disembodied voices, but to be fair, that could be anything with how much noise that place creates. Ever since the disappearance of our aforementioned researcher, we just tell everyone to ignore them as a baseline. But just because it's rare doesn't mean it's not a precaution.
Right. Got it.
All right, and I'm guessing based on the guns, you guys know about our little friend downstairs.
Well, not exactly. For whatever reason, that was deemed as unnecessary information.
You know about our friend downstairs. What friend?
Yeah, sorry. Friends give hugs, not stabbity death.
Oh boy.
Information by our higher-ups.
Huh, okay then. Well, as far as we know, he's MIA. I'm on the complete opposite side of where you guys will be heading. The entrance there is sealed up tight, so there's no chance he's getting out without us knowing about it. As for what you'll find down the hole of 1138, I don't know if you mentioned it, being unlikely that you'd find anything down there, but considering the team's been down there for just about 2 days now, I think that's evidence enough that it should be pretty much clear. But yeah, definitely bring the guns. It's just a precaution.
What is going on here? How many
There's
people are...
Wait, what? Why are there more personnel in this area that... Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Something seems really off here.
Right.
We're honestly probably going to start doing the same going forward.
Right.
All right, I think that should be everything. So just go ahead and load up your stuff on the carts, and we'll go ahead and drive you guys where you need to be. All right?
Okay, then.
So here's another thing. Shouldn't there be tether lines down?
That's what I was just about to inquire. Is what happened to the tether lines that they said they were going? It's again, I could be misreading based on dates and when this is supposedly occurring. It is my understanding, just based on previous videos of Backrooms, that the standard operating procedure for Async Corporation has been to leave in place any and all drop lines, equipment, anything, tether lines especially, that have been anchored and put in place so that they have a point of reference, they have a frame of reference. There was an attempt to try and map this two-dimensional space out. Now, I understand that with the partition walls that come down, the rearrangements of the interior of the space, particularly when there's not an externally located consciousness entering into the vicinity of the back rooms, that things like that would not occur as frequently. If there were tether lines and now suddenly there aren't, would that not have come to the familiarity of the researchers who apparently are there kind of holding the line until they send in another team?
Right. There's usually a team of 3, like, on point, and then there's the guy that's holding the line behind them. That's how it was in the last footage, before the 3 fell on the floor.
Right, and they told him on the radio, we'll follow your tether line to you. That would indicate to me that the tether line should still be there, unless they removed it themselves. My follow-up question to that would be, why the hell would you do that?
Right. Yeah, for sure, Neville. They did a really good job on this. But yeah, no, like that's kind of where I'm drawing weird, like a weird spot. Is they were driving through there, and you seen certain lines placed, but as soon as they got here, there's nothing.
Right, we're now into possibly blank or unknown territory that has not been properly mapped.
So how do you consider that a spot or the spot that we're taking you to? Like what's considered the spot?
Right. I mean, these folks would literally have no idea. But correct me if I'm wrong. Did the original series of Backrooms start? I think it was like maybe in 1992 was the earliest date on the cassettes, or was it 1990? Because this is set. It said at the beginning on the blue screen, 1990.
Uh-huh. That's why I'm about to go back and look. We were at where was it? 1250. Yeah, it was like 1250 like right here.
Okay.
So, let's see here. May 12th, 1990.
All right. Curious.
Okay, it's going to be a sharp corners and tight hallways from here, so you'll have to go the rest of the way on foot. Go ahead and mark off the edge on the drop-off point, and we'll handle it after you guys are done. We'll be on standby over here in case you guys need anything, all right?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, good luck, guys.
What the fuck? All right, good luck, guys.
While I am appreciating this presentation thus far, I do have a moment here where I'm drawing back a little bit for one reason, and we already kind of touched upon it. These researchers, or this assistant director, whatever the guy's title was, as we both mentioned or noticed already, there's no protective gear on him. He's just a guy in loafers, a button shirt, and slacks. He's got no
Yep.
protective gear whatsoever. Yet during the briefing, these three soldiers were informed four. These soldiers were informed that in order to contend with the high pressure inside this space, had to wear these protective suits.
And they could not come off, and they had to be decontaminated on their way back.
Right. No, absolutely no questions asked that the people they retrieve were going to be decontaminated as well.
Well, there could be the misconception from the company and the government here. So, like,
right,
you know, different orders.
Okay,
or
that's
different
possible.
procedure.
That's
It's a
possible.
possibility.
Right. It's like, what if these guys were unsuited? What if they're with Async Corporation as opposed to
Right.
these soldiers who are with the military? So there's a possibility.
Yeah.
But the fact that none of these soldiers asked about that.
Right. I don't know. Maybe they think. Well, I don't fucking know, man. I'm trying to think.
like
It's like
that's why
maybe
it's
they
taking
think
me
it's
out of it a
the
moment.
further they go into it is why they need it.
Possible.
Because that
But again,
far was deemed safe. I don't know.
Right.
I don't
But
know what the
again,
rule of engagement would be for that.
All right, and that's why I'm drawing back a little bit on my suspension of disbelief, because a good soldier would have questions.
Yeah.
They would know to be like, wait a minute, something's not.
They would have questions,
here.
but being a
But would they
soldier
ask?
and orders,
Right? Would they
following
ask those
orders?
questions?
Yeah.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it plays hand in hand in some ways.
So, anybody want to take a guess on what the hell we possibly need with this place?
Well, my guess would be storage of some kind. I mean, you guys saw the room we entered in. It was huge. These hallways and rooms really go on forever. This would be a great place to store stuff in.
And now with overpopulation being a major concern, we probably could even turn these into living areas or housing even.
Housing in a hazardous foreign environment filled with threats they can't even tell us about? Yeah, I'm sure nothing could go wrong.
You're still worried about that, aren't you?
You know, I'm honestly surprised you guys aren't. I mean, am I the only one with their fucking head screwed on right? Look at what's happening right now. We're walking into a military operation, essentially blind about what we could even be fighting, in a facility they can't tell us about, for a fucking company they can't even tell us about. I don't give a shit if this is a blackout. I've never been on a mission where they've kept information like that from us.
Well, I'm sure there's a good reason we weren't informed about any of that. You mentioned...
Are you fucking serious right now?
Yeah, that's, he's at least starting to bark about, yeah, I've got questions. Small side note, that there's kind of a cringy moment for me there, with the woman bringing up the whole overpopulation thing. Right. In 1990, overpopulation was not a common concern for the average citizen. It just wasn't. It was not in common dialectic. It wasn't cropping up in a lot of conversations amongst.
I think she's only trying to make herself feel better.
Right, yeah. Possibly. There were academics who were talking about these things, pretty consistently since the mid-70s. But how would a gun-toting combat ops soldier of the military have that conversation filter down into her head? Again, I'm not trying to be hypercritical. There's just something about that screams. This script was written by someone with current day information or news or talking points and conversations bleeding into.
It's possible, but the way I'm thinking of it is, it's just a coping mechanism of the conversation. Oh, surely there's a good reason. Right. Yada yada yada. I really don't know what I'm walking into, but whatever sounds good.
Right. Hi, Brooke.
Hey, Brookie. Sorry, I've been busy as fuck at work. It's Friday. Yeah, thankfully I'm off already. All right, here we go.
Information was on a need-to-know basis, and he brought up a good point about the team. If there was anything dangerous down there, then there probably wouldn't be a team to save.
But I mean, it's just like Jack said. Why the guns? If it's an absolute certainty, then why even bother getting an armed search and rescue team? They've got nothing to hide, then why is any of this classified to begin with? I mean, seriously, they got to be hiding something with all this fucking secrecy bullshit.
Not to mention 4 fucking dudes or 4 people.
Right. I would expect if you are arming 4 folks for a black flag operation, there is an expectation of potential violence, and if it occurs, you're going to need overwhelming firepower.
Which even then, that's not exactly overwhelming firepower. They're like standard M4 carbines with 5.56. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're fully automatic, but like when we're gonna talk about like fully armed, I'm thinking of like M249 saws and possibly a grenade launcher.
And perhaps I'm just showing a bit of my own ignorance / chaos tendencies, but yeah, it's not heavy armament, but you're strapped with oxygen tanks, and let's just say high against the oxygen tank plus bullet equals big kaboom.
Right, but I don't think they were like expecting to fight like military age males with AKs in this area.
No.
The unknown.
We only have to worry about 17-eyed, multi-dimensional horrors that will eat your brains and feast on your face, and then use your skull as an ashtray.
Right.
Little things.
Right now, I'm just praying we don't figure out about the hard way.
All right, quiet. EM meter just spiked. I think we're close.
You getting anything?
I mean, it's reading like I'm right on top of it, but hold up. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Found it. Right here.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Smart.
Someone pass me the tape. Let's go ahead and mark the edge here.
Definitely.
Yeah, 1 sec.
Section, this is Miller. We've reached the drop-off point. I'm going to go ahead and send the camera down and see what we got. Then we'll set up to make our descent. Over.
Roger that. Good work. We'll try to notify the team that you're there, and we'll see if they're able to move in closer to meet you guys at the bottom. Gonna try to make this trip as short as possible for everyone. Over.
10-4. Keep us posted. All right, listen up. Unless you want to be rescued too, do not cross this line. Got it? Let's go ahead and set up one of the lines here so we can send the camera down and see exactly what we're dealing with.
That would be so trippy.
Right? Like, okay. Total sidebar. Just imagine taking somebody and being like, "Hey, let's take some acid and then come follow me."
Right. My ass would
What
probably
even is the world?
my ass would probably fall in there. I'd be like, whoa, whoa. I'd be like, oh shit.
That is something else right there. Damn! It's pitch black down there.
Well, let's see if we can fix that. You ready?
Yep, send it. Holy shit.
What?
We are absolutely sure they're still even alive, right?
Well, I mean, that's what we're here to find out, isn't it?
That's a hell of a
How
drop.
the hell did they survive a fall like that? Oh! Oh my god, Hudson! Hudson, don't fucking do that, you asshole! You do it again and I'm gonna throw your ass down there. I'm serious.
All right, knock it off, both of you. Hudson, come let me unload this.
Yeah, they're laughing now.
All right, turn me to base. All right, hopefully that holds. Hand me that. Is it recording?
Yeah, it should be.
All right, yeah, I see it.
Portion.
Yep. Which is a bad sign. Bravo 6 going dark. Is that stone? It looked like the wall was made out of brick. It was either stone or brick, one of the two.
All right, copy that. Looks like the camera just came back up, so we'll go ahead and let you know what it looks like on our end. Over.
Yeah, it looked like pitted
All right,
stone.
that should be the bottom.
Oh, damn, okay.
Definitely fits the description.
Yeah, I'm sure it smells lovely down there too.
Yeah, it's like a
guessing one of
sewer
you
down
guys
there.
dropped that down there?
Yeah, I dropped one down earlier. I wanted to see how deep it went.
Section, this is Miller. We've sent the camera down and got brief footage of the bottom. Everything pretty much matches their description. Looks like some kind of underground tunnel system, almost like a sewer. Looks like you might be right about that high drop, though. Looks like it's going to be a long way down. Took a while before the camera finally hit the ground.
Copy that. Any signs of the team?
Nothing. Not from what we can see. What about you? Heard anything from them yet?
Yeah, still working on it. Voices kept cutting in and out, so we got no idea if they were reading us clearly. Although that was about half an hour ago, and it's been pretty much silent since then.
All right, we'll go ahead and start setting up to rope down, and we'll try to get down there as fast as we can. Let us know if you hear anything. Over.
Copy. We'll keep you posted.
Hey, Miller, you mind me asking why we set up 3? Wasn't exactly
Okay.
planning on sharing a line with someone.
All right, quiet. Listen up. Change your plans. Hudson, I need you to stay up here in case anything goes wrong.
Appreciate it.
We need something while we're down there. If you don't hear from us within an hour, then go back and get help because something's gone wrong.
All right, yes, sir. Sounds good.
Everyone else, get set up. You're with me.
So, thoughts?
A couple of things really quick. With the stone work down at the bottom of that shaft, I'm reminded a little bit of the look of the territory where the kid went to with the oldest view prior
bit.
to finding his way into the mall with those kind of those stone chambers prior to finding slipping underneath that one gate. So it's kind of what it made me think of there. It's reminiscent of that environment.
Yeah, there was like the rusty room.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we had the camera distortions, which you and I immediately were like, distortion, bad sign.
Yep.
That's usually an indicator from what we've seen previously.
Something's tampering with your equipment.
Right. Something in the environment itself is making its presence known, or you have passed over a demarcation point into a separate space. Whether or not it's going to interact with biological matter in the same way as it will electronic equipment, we don't know yet. Because we've had back and forth with the back rooms where sometimes it seemed to be universal, other times it was not.
Right.
But that's the fun of these strange locations, is that the laws of physics are not uniform. They're not consistent.
Nope. They sometimes work and sometimes do not work. Like a video game with glitches.
Exactly.
It's almost like these glitches are like AI generated.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know what would be a real great thing is if you opened this door and went through into a separate interior dungeon space, except instead you go right into the belly of a death claw.
You go through a door and you're opening up out of a window. Yeah. Well, they came prepared.
I'm still here. I'm still watching.
Ready.
We got motorized propellers.
All right, everyone good?
Think so. Let's knock this
Winch
out.
system.
Section, this is Miller. We're ready to make our descent down.
Copy that. Godspeed, guys.
Good luck, you guys. Be safe
Man,
down
the
there.
attention to detail.
All right, here we go.
Even the texture on the wall is like so unnatural. It's like distorted. Like right before they met up with the stone.
Right. Again, I would refer back to, and we talked about it with the back rooms. If one of these locations has to rapidly rearrange itself, you're going to wind up with these inconsistencies because
Yep.
the environment itself has not had time to adapt before another perception, a biological perception, is in its presence.
Right.
Section, this is Miller. We've reached the bottom. No sign of the researchers anywhere. Any updates on your end? Over?
Negative. No response. Looks like they've gone dark again.
Oh boy.
How's the beacon read?
Looks like it's still in the
That's a whole lot of fucking nope down there. A whole lot of fucking nope.
same spot. But with that being said, it hasn't moved for a while.
Okay, roger that. Let's proceed with the mission and see if you can find them. If they're dead, if we...
Wait.
Mold. The mold.
Mold.
Nope. Get out. Fucking.
To make sure.
All right, copy that.
Hopefully this ain't a wasted trip.
You're telling me. All right, get tactical. Let's fan out and find them.
Oh, there's a lot of it.
Clear.
Oh no.
Clear. Which way do we go?
Oh,
Reading
not
the
good.
we gotta take a right. Question is, which right?
Wait. Look. There's some blood down that way.
Holy shit.
Well, I guess that helps narrow it down.
Damn. Hudson might have had a point.
Well, they did say they were hurt from the fall.
No, like, this is a lot of blood, Miller.
Could be a mix of everyone's blood. Maybe just not one person.
What? What kind of reasoning is that? It could be a mix of everyone's blood. What? What?
Apparently, this fellow didn't do any kind of learning about how much blood a human being can withhold before they die.
No.
Clear.
Clear.
Which way now?
It's reading like we gotta go right.
Yeah, but the blood trail goes this way.
All right, let's split up. Shannon, keep following the trail. Let us know where you're...
Man, if that ain't the most Scooby-Doo shit right there.
All right. For those of us who are veterans of watching horror films, you know the chant, or the thing I'm about to say, plus the chant that's going to follow after. The thing I'm going to say is, you never split up. That's when you end up with the chant of victim, 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 victim. That's when Jason hops out. That's when Jason hops out from behind the tree. That's when the machete separates your head from your shoulders. This is doom.
This is bad. This is really bad.
And just as a sidebar, the name of the video is Stalker.
Yeah. Backrooms,
What?
the Stalker.
Isn't that one of the terms that you and I had dubbed the mold creature that was protecting the interior space of the back rooms?
Because it was doing just that. It was literally peeking around walls.
Right. It was stalking them. It was bait and luring them.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those misdirections that we had seen in other videos, is that blood trail, she says, it's leading off in another direction. Their equipment is telling them something else.
Right.
We've got misdirection, which is what
And there's mold everywhere.
does. Right. Oh, God. Who knows how much of it needs to coalesce to become one of those creatures.
Right.
Given how angular they were and how thin in some places, you
Not
don't
only
need
that,
a lot.
We don't even know what other forms this thing can take.
No, it's unknown.
Right.
Leads. Me and Jack will head down this way and find the beacon.
All right, got it.
How far away is it?
It says we're like right on top of it, so keep your eyes peeled.
Didn't he just say that?
He said they were like right on top of it when they were on the upper level.
On top of the yeah.
Yeah. So right now they're like down on the level with the beacon and now trying to labyrinthine their way around, which would again indicate something shifted their positioning when they got to the bottom.
Right.
What the hell? Miller, check this out. It's right here.
Oh shit. Yeah, this is definitely it. But where's the team?
You think they'd be right here with it, you know?
Yeah, why leave it here and go somewhere else?
Guys,
Yeah?
come take a look at this.
Oh boy.
One of the researchers' suits. Looks like they tore themselves out of it or something.
Probably ditched them. They've been stuck down here a while. I'd imagine these things get uncomfortable.
Yeah, but why go through the visor like this? I mean, it's completely smashed up and there's blood everywhere.
Well, either way, we better get moving. If they're cutting bleeding, then that means we're even more pressed for time to...
Contact, 12 o'clock.
Hey, don't move!
Please, I'm not one of the scientists. Please don't shoot.
Okay, relax, man. It's gonna be okay. We're the team sent to help you guys. Are you injured?
I was able to walk back. I heard you guys coming, so I tried to make it back on my own.
Where's the rest of your team?
This way, over here. They're still alive, but they need help right now.
Okay, man, lead the way. We'll follow you.
Whoa, guys, hold on.
What?
What the fuck do you mean, hold up? They need our help.
Something's not right about this. Ma'am, what's your name?
Grace.
Her mouth's not moving.
Miller?
What?
She's not moving her mouth.
What?
Are you guys gonna help us out or not?
Holy shit, you're right.
What the fuck? How is that even possible?
All right, everyone stay calm. Hold your positions.
Oh!
Holy shit!
Open fire!
Oh shit! Fucking run, dude! Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah. I think that would be the point where I take the gun and run, and if I end up in a dead end, well, you know the rest. Damn. What would you do?
I don't have an immediate response for what would you do. Obviously, they opened fire, which I think was the appropriate response. When every bit of fire that connected didn't seem to have any effect,
None.
cease
That thing didn't even
firing.
stagger.
No, cease firing and get out.
Man.
Now, my initial thought also was scorpion or xenomorph.
Yeah. That's what it looked like to me. Whatever it was, it stood up on legs.
Right, but that stinger tail waggling out behind it that had impaled the second guy on and flung him across the room like so
Yeah.
much toilet paper.
Yeah. That and wow, it puppeteered human. Oh
Meat
my
puppet.
god.
Hudson, do you read me? Son of a bitch!
Oh Jesus. Oh no.
Not now! Hudson! Hudson! Fuck it.
Do what you gotta do, man.
Lower the radio sound.
Hudson! Hudson, pull me out, please!
Hang on, I got you.
Hudson, let me go!
Oh shit.
No, fuck that, man. You're not going anywhere. Jack, hand me your rifle. Come on, man. Fucking do it. No, I won't. Hold still.
He's bleeding a lot.
You alright?
Oh, God. Oh, my fucking God. What the hell was that thing?
Alright, what happened?
It was a trap! It was a fucking trap and we were set up! This whole thing was a fucking trap and we fell right into it! They're dead. They're all dead. No! The rest are dead because of me! Oh, because of me! Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God!
Alright, man, just try to relax, okay?
Relax? You're telling me to relax? How am I supposed to relax when I'm the reason Miller and Shannon are dead? Because I couldn't stand my ground. No, I had to run like a fucking coward. How the fuck do you expect me to relax?
Cool it right now before you bleed out in front of me! It wasn't your fault, alright? You did the best you could. They're dead because of that fucking thing, not you, okay? Don't blame yourself. Would you please relax before I lose you too? There. Should hold for now. Section, this is Hudson. Jackson made it out. He's alive, but he's severely wounded. I managed to get him stable, but I need a professional down here now. Miller and Shannon are dead. Something else was down there. Something we sure as hell weren't ready for. Whole thing was a goddamn setup, and we fell right into it.
They use the researchers like fucking ragdolls, like puppets. They mimic their voices. I don't think they survived the fall. I don't think they were ever alive down there.
Roger that. Sending medical down to assist. I'm sorry for your loss down there.
No, you're not.
Over.
Camera's still rolling. It might be damaged, but I think so. I don't know. Go check.
Wow.
Well, that was a great big clusterfuck of awful.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is beyond fucking nightmare fuel. That is definitely what nightmares are made of.
Yeah. And we were curious to see, what kind of, you had said just a minute or two before it popped up on screen. We don't know what form or shape this thing will take. And now we have seen. It looked like some kind of hybrid of a scorpion and a classic Ridley Scott alien xenomorph.
But did you see the face, the way it like jaggered and stuff?
Yeah, it was
like
jigging. It wasn't stable.
Right.
It was holding its form momentarily.
Right. Like it was like a constant vibration. Like everything was, I don't know how to explain it. Like it was
maladapted.
Yeah.
Almost as if it had taken that form moments before actually striking.
Mm-hmm.
And as such was not in a solid form in order to strike. Now evolutionarily, there could be several reasons for this. In some sci-fi, we've seen examples of this in things like Stargate Atlantis, where there were the nanobot creatures that they formed up and assembled into large humanoid-sized scale units in order to combat the SG-1 team. However, they never took a finalized solid form in order to kind of morph themselves and minimize damage taken in when they were fired upon. Because if you don't solidify the units together, then you don't lose as many tiny nanobot units when you receive a strike, when you receive incoming fire. The downside of that is that then does not allow you as much, or is not as much versatility, as much wholesale strength to
I wonder if
counter-strike.
like something like a flamethrower would have been effective.
Might have been more useful in a scenario like that, because then you've got a weapon type that's not single point of impact. It's burning everything. The whole idea of kill it with fire.
Yeah. It's the same deal with like the movie, I don't know if you ever seen, I believe it was Jack Carpenter or John
Carpenter's The Thing.
Yep.
Fucking A, yes.
Thank
Fucking
God.
A-yes.
Every time I mention that movie, everybody's like, what? The Thing? And it kills me.
Right, like I'm
such a classic, man.
Right, I'm referring to the 1980s John Carpenter, Kurt Russell remake, because that was a remake.
Yeah.
The original The Thing, I think, was filmed back in like the 60s or something like that.
I believe so.
But I've never seen that original. I've read about it, but I've never.
I've heard of that one, but the one with Kurt Russell's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the one everyone remembers for obvious reasons.
Right.
But right, in that instance,
I can't say everybody, but yeah. But yeah, it reminds me of that kind of, because like it's all one biomass, but when you break it apart, it's individual life forms, individual organisms.
And we see creatures like this show up in previous mythologies. In Hinduism, they referred to them as the Devars. These were hostile spirits that individually and on their own are right next to powerless. They can't do anything to even the lowliest life form of mortal stripe. But when they coalesce together and unionize in an effort to destroy what is mortal or good, they create this kind of composite life form that can take on various shapes, forms, and functions because it's composed of many thousands of smaller individual evil spirits.
Yeah, ants building like a bridge or building like not bridge but like ladders and stuff. They'll climb onto each other.
Right. Kind of like you also see in the awful film adaptation of World War Z, the zombie walls. They would just amass together in order to get a handful to climb up and over. It's the same sort of concept where you have so many elements of tiny evil they can composite themselves into one globular form of, oh, we're fucked. Side note on the mythology, they were called Devars because etymologically, I believe the term for evil in the original Hindi script was Devara, meaning evil one. So when you have multiple Devara, you have Devars, the mass of evil. Sorry, nerdy tangent.
No.
A lot on these shows.
It's definitely a good analogy, especially. I guess my mind went to just straight from like The Thing when I thought about that, because like the scene where I believe it's Norris where he's on the table, and as he's changing, part of his stomach goes up on the ceiling, his head detaches and turns into an arachnid.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that. I haven't watched that movie in so long.
Yeah.
Like that's another one I gotta watch again sometime soon.
So like Kurt Russell, McCready, he's like what he says like when they're doing the blood test, he's like watching Norris in there gave me an idea. Every little part of him was an organism with the will to fight for its own life. See, when it comes to when a man bleeds, it's just tissue.
Right, because each and every individual droplet of blood is its own thing.
Yep.
And you no careful.
So, yeah, that's what that comes down to.
And yet fascinating also because it brings right back into our concept of this being a mold spore based creature. Mold spores are the individual spores have their own processes for digestion, for absorption and adaptation, but they coalesce into a greater whole. This is a biological reality.
Yeah, a biomass.
Which makes it all the more horrifying because we have a real world analog that we can look to for comparison.
There was another analogy to bring up to as far as that. I don't know if you ever heard of the Rat King.
Yes.
Where literally the tails bind together and they become one whole.
Yep. Because they get knotted. They get knotted together, so the whole cluster acts as a almost hive mind.
Yep.
They have a unified purpose. And you'd see these a lot in like New York City. You'd see them in London.
So gross.
They were grotesque, and I remember I think it was AD&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, the second edition monstrous manual had a creature, a monster known as the Rat King, and the picture on it was disgusting because like half the rats were trying to pull away. One little rat was busy gnawing its own ass to try and break free, and there was a bigger rat like on top of it clamping its mouth shut to try and keep it as part of the whole collective.
Oh god,
it's grotesque because it makes you think this is many minds compelled to be forced into a singular organism or a singular movement. And even when
Right.
something wants so badly to be free that it's willing to chew off its own tail, thus making itself possibly bleed to death, there's something else in the collective saying, no, you will remain.
Right. It's like trying to keep it like a leg that's trying to be gnawed off.
Right. Like, oh no, you need to stick around. We can find a use for you.
Right. Man.
Reminds me of when
That's a gnarly existence there.
Yeah. Just to put it mildly.
Ugh. Gross stuff, man.
Yeah. So
Man.
that was Backrooms Stalker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to wrap up here pretty shortly, brother.
Yeah, I was actually about to get to that because I'm probably gonna hop on Dark Souls, get that going. But man, I was not expecting that.
No.
That was something else. Especially how it used a person to mimic to draw people in. But here's what really got me though was the light that turned on behind it.
Right, like where did that light come from?
Right.
And this is something where I once again have to wonder. It reminds me a little bit of an anglerfish.
Yeah.
When anglerfish get their prey, right, with that bobbing light. I've watched a couple of documentaries on deep sea creatures and predators. Something I find fascinating about the anglerfish is that it can modulate the brightness of that bulb through some weird bioluminescent control mechanism in its nervous system. And what it does is when its prey comes within striking distance, it basically flashes out this intense glare of light to shock its prey.
Yep.
That shock, that one moment of, oh, it drops entirely any possible split nervous reaction in self-defense. It's like throwing a jab before you throw in that uppercut that's just going to down your opponent.
There's something that's just like that. It's a attachment for guns, mainly shotguns and handguns, but a strobe effect for guns that throws off the opposing shooter from that gun. So it's a constant flash because it disorients you.
Right.
The person holding the gun, it gives them an open shot.
Right. It's a defensive counter. It's an offensive countermeasure to a defensive reflex.
Yep.
Which is fascinating. So this creature, this mold creature, had enough familiarity with either natural hunting tactics or this is a military team that's been sent down there and it has made contact with their consciousness, as we've discussed about two-dimensional spaces.
It could be that, but I think I'm going to go with the theory with the fish, the anglerfish that you were talking about. But I think it has a possible tie to the environment, like the space itself. Like it has its own, it's its own hunting ground, and it knows how to manipulate that part of the area to draw in its prey.
Right, and the previous mold spores that they had come in contact with all over the walls, we had discussed before that other mold being connected to the stalker itself could be relaying the position of these human interlopers to let it prepare this meat puppet in order to draw them into the final strike.
There's another short film that I've seen that I think you'll take interest in, but it's very similar to that of the meat puppet. But it's a short film. It's like a horror short film. Matter of fact, hold on real quick.
All right.
Let me see here. I'm about to look at that one. It was like a little animated short too. There it is. Yeah, that one's definitely going to be another one for another time, but it's called The Pleasant Inn. And it all happens at like a motel. Like in the middle of nowhere, a motel. That's very similar to that creature.
Okay.
But I would like to do a
Check that
show
out.
on that because I would love to see your reaction. I've already seen it.
Oh, did you type it out? Okay, hold on a second. Is it in the Discord?
No, but I'll send it to you.
Okay. But yeah, no, Sam's got the right idea. Seal that shit up and never talk on this subject again.
Yeah, I think you need tons of therapy. Tons of therapy. And even then, I don't think that would be enough.
Probably not.
Especially after getting your leg gnawed off.
Yeah.
Well, partially gnawed off, but yeah.
And remember, decontamination in that guy's case is probably going to include a bullet in the brain and a trip to the incinerator.
Yeah. Considering whatever material leaked into his wound, and yeah.
Exactly. He's been bitten. This thing is now inside of him.
I don't know if he's been bitten, but I think the claw dug into his leg.
Right, but even given
as it
that,
was growling at him.
Right, given that, if it's a claw,
right,
we already observed this thing was quavering. It was not a solid state yet.
Right.
So who knows how much it left inside.
Not to mention though, they said that the person that was in the suit came out through the face.
Right, that was why I was like peering in at at my camera or at the screen so much to try and see, was the glass broken in? No, it was broken out.
Right.
The shards were angled out.
Well, that makes me wonder then, how the fuck did they get out of that hole? Did they like remove the bones or something? Like the bone structure? Like how would they exit through the hole of the visor?
If the creature has begun to devour and or replace the tissue at that point,
it might as well just be a skin suit.
Right, at that point, it's just a skin.
Wait a minute.
Suit wrapped over mold.
I think I know what happened. I think whatever bone structure it had, it dissolved. And whatever bone structure was inside was dissolved, which then made it a flimsy, floppy skin suit, which then was pulled out and then restructured through the mold. That's my theory. It materialized in the body.
That's actually a good theory because it fits. It would liquefy the bones or any other hard cartilage to allow it greater movement functionality.
Now that it came out of the back of the body, because that's when it showed up, was behind the body.
Yep. And that was my other thing, was like it was meat puppeting with the stinger.
Mm-hmm.
So like it had it impaled and hanging on the stinger.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't she walk up to them?
She may have. I may have that wrong.
Yeah, I thought she like ran up to him. Like the
yeah, because she was like moving side to side too, so that would
Yeah.
be available if she was impaled, but still controlled through the mold.
Well, wait a minute. I was about to say, like, maybe the tail works as the strings, like once it impaled through like the spinal, like somewhere like right there. Maybe it was
like a
controlling it that way.
Right, like a marionette stick.
Yeah.
Because everything else in the in the animation flowed and moved pretty fluidly. except for her. Her
Right.
movements were notably stiff. Even when
Very
she turned to
stiff.
the side to indicate that the others were hurt, her arms remained up above her head, and her head didn't she didn't keep
Right.
her head turned
Yeah,
toward
she was
the
like,
rock. Her
she
whole
didn't.
body moved
Yeah, she didn't move her head at all. She's, yeah.
like a doll.
Mm-hmm.
Baby shark again, dude. I'm gonna blow my brains out with this thing.
Man.
And what a weird song to have at the tail end of all of this massacre.
Dude, that when they started shooting, I was like, oh my god. This thing is not phased. It gives no fucks.
No fucks given. It's gonna eat your face now. Have a nice day.
Well, so that makes me wonder now. When he was when the one guy was pulling the other guy up out of the hole, and the guy was getting his leg gnawed on, he said, "Give me your gun," and then he started shooting at it and it knocked it off. What happened there? Maybe it materialized a little more and the force knocked it off?
Hypothetical here. In order to climb up the shaft after the wounded soldier, in order to have enough friction on the wall, it would have to have formed some more stable claws in order to climb. In order to bite, it would have had to at least momentarily concentrate on solidifying its head and mouth structure, so that allowed Hudson to have a better chance to knock the thing off or apart.
Better
In
way
the
to
moment,
transfer the energy to knock it off.
right. So there is that possibility where, in order to come up after him, it had to take a more solidified shape, at least momentarily, which did allow Hudson to then knock the thing back down the shaft.
Yeah. I'm just kind of lost. I'm wondering why I didn't try to go back up. Because there were 3 lines put down.
Right.
They could have climbed up any 3 of those.
Well, this is where I would come to my original hypothesis of this creature is not there in order to go out and seek prey. It is responding to intrusion into the core of that two-dimensional space. It's a defender.
True.
It's not there to actively hunt and kill. It's there to defend.
That makes sense. I guess maybe like every level has its own defender, or space has its own defender in the Backrooms.
Right. And especially on like the uppermost layers where it's closest contact to our physical space, our three-dimensional space, the two-dimensional realm seems to rely more on misdirection and confusion as its primary defense mechanism, is to kind of convince any intruder that gets in to go away, to leave it alone. You say, we're going to confuse you and you're going to get scared and go away.
Yeah, so much for that.
Right, that
seeing
didn't
as
work
they had
out.
the blood trail and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Work
mix
out.
of everybody's blood. Okay, buddy.
Wait. But anywho, brother, any final notes, final word?
Scuba said, I'm so glad my kids are old enough to not have the baby shark phase. That is made of nightmares. Literally.
Count yourself fortunate, Sam.
Yeah. If you ever are a military personnel and then a big old aviator guy in suit comes to you and says, hey, I got a proposition to make you a bunch of money, stay the fuck away from them and say no.
Yeah, just be like, oh, you want me to deal with Lovecraftian horrors that will tear my mind apart? No thanks.
I'm good, because I know I'm not coming back. Yeah, that's good old Uncle Sam telling you, hey, yeah, your ass is mine, but there's some money in it for you. Oh, yeah? No, I'm good.
Yep. True story, Sam. Big ol' fuck no.
Yeah. That's you flee the country, you're yeah, you figure out what to do next, but don't go there. Don't go where creepy, government man tells you to go. I'd rather smoke some methamphetamine. Man. I think I probably would too instead of dealing with that fucking thing.
Meth is a hell of a drug, but hey, at least you're usually alive afterwards.
Usually, well, halfway, looking like a ghoul. But yeah. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I gotta say is absolutely fucking not.
Yeah, nope. No, thank you. But can you turn that
That
thing
was
down a little more, at least, buddy?
it was definitely fun to check that out and get into that. The other one that I want to do was the Pleasant Inn. That's the one I was just mentioning. There's a little bit of similarity in the monster. I'll say that much. But specifically, I want to see your reaction to it. So, yeah. Well, that and I don't know. We'll have to figure out some more material to look into. But
Well,
there's
yeah,
plenty
we've
out
got
there.
right, and Wednesdays and Fridays seem to be the best days that work out for me for these time
Okay.
frames for us to come back to this, which is kind of what we were doing before.
My free days are Fridays and Saturdays. So
Okay. Yeah, Thursdays don't work out for me now based on certain other family obligations that I can't really get into. But other than that, I would say this was a good dive. It was certainly
sure.
entertaining and intriguing.
Definitely good to get back in the back rooms.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. Now? Do you want me to watch this
No, I
video you
wanted to
committed me
watch
to?
it live so we could see your reaction. And then your
All right. So
thoughts.
that's gonna be. So you want that to our next Wednesday show?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right.
I'll even set
All
up
right.
the
So,
I'll set up the what do you call it? The schedule for it. That
all
way
right.
it
The
pops
promo.
up. Yep.
All right. So,
Just so
ladies
that
and
way we get a
gentlemen,
little more of a viewing. That way people know about it.
yeah,
It's not like
the
last
Pleasant Inn.
second. The
Yeah.
Pleasant Inn. Yeah, before like we hop off entirely, as soon as I end the show, I'll talk to you for a minute. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up there.
Yeah, sounds good, brother. Oh, jeez, I did not think about the lighting behind me for that.
You could always look into the puck wedgie. What's the puck wedgie? Have you heard of that?
No.
I'm gonna look that up. Puck wedgie.
Yeah. Take a look. You probably got a quicker connection than I got. Yeah. What you have?
Little Men of the Woods, mythical creatures.
Okay.
All right, y'all. We're gonna hop off here. It's been fun.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank you for having joined us once again for the deep dive with Brother Cortex and ByronOfSidius. If you are looking for gaming material, once again, head on over to the archives of Cortex. He's also going to be coming back on here in a short bit with doing some
Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls playthrough.
Yep.
If you are looking for some mythology, fantasy, horror, or sci-fi material to read, you can always look up the works of one Joshua T. Calkins trilogy. That would be myself.
Go to this guy.
There. Thank you. And I would also highly recommend, if you are an avid reader looking to get yourself some material to read online that's not the typical just talking heads, ditto heads, and socio-political commentators. You can look for fiction over on Substack.com. I am a longtime practitioner of using Substack now for just over 3 years, and there are some exceptionally talented independent and small press authors sharing their stories, and whether they be long or serialized novelizations. Just a couple names I would recommend if you head to Substack to check that out. Would be Jolan Hildebrand and the brothers Kryn, which is a pair of brothers in currently one of them, Joe, is working in Japan as a translator, and he's looking to get work with with ASCII, the game company, looking to do some work in helping to formulate stories for role-playing games coming out in the next few years. But the two of them they're big-time mythology lovers. They dive deep into folklore and legends.
I'm definitely a play fan. Definitely love some RPG games.
Yeah. So like I said, on Substack, it's the Brothers Kryn. That's the Brothers Krynn, and Jolan Hildebrand, a gentleman from Sweden. It's JolanHildebrand. Jolan Hildebrand. Two exceptional voices in fantasy storytelling, as well as heading over to the Storyteller's Corner, led by yours truly.
Gotcha, right there. There's his link right there.
That's all for me for plugs.
One more thing I do want to add. For Fallout and possibly Warhammer 40K, that's something like I also want to get into. I know you and I have like briefly talked about Warhammer. Like, I don't know if that's like an interest of yours, but it's a heavy interest of mine.
I'm about halfway through the first short story collection I grabbed.
Okay. Definitely check out some of their lore, some of their books, especially the Horus Heresy. Their first book, Horus Rising, definitely highly recommend give that a read. But that's all I really gotta say is like I want to touch up on some of that stuff, some like our typical nerd talk, different franchises, different worlds or universes, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's the glory of being nerds. Is we have a lot of stuff.
Maybe we can switch that up. We'll do like a nerd talk and then we'll do a deep dive.
That definitely sounds doable, brother.
Yeah. We'll do
give
like
it a scattershot. I can.
Yeah. But other than that, y'all, I think that's what we're gonna wrap up with. But until then, y'all, be easy. We're out of here. Much love. We're out.
Cheers.